Hello everyone, this is Alex Marcheschi from Sign Builder Illustrated, and today I'm joined by our gold medal winner from the Top Young Sign Makers Awards. This is Alisha Capobianco from Creative A. She's the president, and they're located in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Alisha, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
It's an honor.
Oh yeah, so for everyone familiar with the publication, you know Alisha's work is on the cover, and you've seen a couple of her headshots and her other amazing work in the magazine, and you can look out for this interview on YouTube and our website, signshop.com, which will accompany the web version of the article. We're just going to get to know Alisha a little bit today and understand about why her operation is so successful, what makes her tick, and kind of how she got her start. So like a lot of people in signage, Alisha, you witnessed a family business while you were a child, growing up, and you realized it was going to be your passion. Can you talk about what your mom, kind of the groundwork she laid for you, and kind of what inspired you to get involved with the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So my mom had started an art consulting business straight out of college. She went to school for printmaking, and that was her basis of how she started. And she started framing prints right in her living room on her coffee table.
Yeah.
And she would buy the prints, and she would buy frames that she could put together. And then she just went door to door to businesses and in industrial parks, like how it used to be for businesses.
Yeah.
And she would just knock and sell corporate art. And that's how she started the company.
That's amazing. And so you were, of course, when a family business like that takes off, it comes home, you talk about it at the kitchen table. I'm sure you kind of got a sneak peek into how business works, when you were a teenager.
Yes, I spent a lot of time in her office. She always had in-house production, so she always had somebody in the wood shop making frames. She always had a large format printer. She was printing artwork. So her first printer, I believe it was an Epson, she was printing that, and I was like coloring in the corner in her office, scanning my hand on the scanner. So you were getting started in the industry and you didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. And she would, pick me up from school, and she was always late because she was always working.
That's awesome.
And it was just part of the DNA of our family and how we were kind of born and raised. And my sister's very creative as well. She owns a few businesses. She's a web designer, graphic designer, and photographer.
Amazing.
So we sell her artwork. She designs our website.
Oh, actually, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So she's part of our creative family.
Cool. That's amazing. True family business.
Yes.
So I know that you're well removed from college, but you did go to a very respected school, the Parsons School of Design in New York.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what made you make that leap? Because that's got to be intimidating as a young person going into that environment where, big reputation, and you were going to get tasked with a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So my mother, she always loved New York. She would exhibit at the Hotel Motel show in New York.
Okay.
So she would bring me when I was young, and I loved New York. We would have a blast every time we went. She would bring me to the trade shows, and actually before the trade shows were like digital scanning, she would have me do yellow, green, and red for leads at a trade show.
Wow.
So I would mark somebody, on a piece of paper, and it was awesome to be a part of that. And that kind of started my love for New York. Yeah. And I decided that I wanted to go to school for interior design because I loved more than just art. I loved environments, creating environments, signage, wall murals, window film, all of it. Yeah. And so I went to school and learned a lot of technical skill, and school at Parsons was all about making things with your hands as well. Yes. So I took what I knew from when I was young to what I now grew to know in school, matched with the digital side of things like graphic design and rendering and all of that. And I combined that all together, and it was awesome to be able to have that, work with other creatives. And I would go from school to a client appointment. During school I was working, selling artwork and signage in New York full time. I believe the Hulu project that I had done originally, the first one in New York City, that was actually while I was still in college.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So in terms of your calling card, you're known for environmental branding, and most sign shop owners know that. If someone's watching who's outside of signage, that really means that you're creating a business space for a client. You're creating the space where they may interact in the office. You're really setting the tone for how a business operates, and your client is depending on you to make sure that their environment is the one that they want to do business in.
Yes.
So can you talk to us about, for someone who is aspiring to get to the level where you are, where you're capable of doing the channel letters, you're capable of doing murals, you're capable of doing basically whatever they ask.
Yeah.
So what is that like? I'm sure it can be overwhelming when they understand that you can do everything, but then you're the one who has to figure it out.
Yeah, so I would say that all started with client requests, right? You do one thing and they see that you're a solution-driven company, and then they start asking, can you do this? Can you do that? And so we were exposed to that, and then from there it was, okay, how can we do that? How can we accomplish that? And that's how we built up, more than just art, how we moved into signage and wall murals and window film. And so we built that up to be a well-oiled machine where we're full service. We're a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to a sign maker and then someone who does accessories or plants and then somebody that does wall murals. We combine that all in-house, and creating those environments was so important for us because being able to represent someone's brand is so impactful. It's a big responsibility. And, we wanted to be able to make those impressions for people that were coming into the office, for client impressions, for people bringing those people into the office. And that was kind of the start of, more than just, oh, it looks good. It actually functions. It means something. And people have a feeling when they go into a space. And it doesn't have to be just corporate. It could be hospitality. It could be, a restaurant where, what's the feeling when you get there?
Yeah,
Everybody loves a well-designed space.
Exactly. I remember you explained to me that something that kind of helped spur you along to being the one-stop shop was your work with the Friendly's, the franchise.
Yes.
That does, famous for their ice cream, famous for their fast food. And, you guys were doing murals for them, and then you realized, we can really up this a level and take things to the next level in terms of branding the entire franchise store. Yeah,
so my mom had started the Friendly's restaurants very early on in her career.
Yeah.
So I grew up the iterations of Friendly's. She's done some stores more than 4 times.
Oh, wow.
So it went from when it used to be prop shelving and artwork to what it was in the last generation, which we were doing full-scale wall murals.
Yeah.
And artwork as well, and other visual, elements like bulletin boards and things like that.
Yeah.
So being able to take that to that scale was amazing. And we do a lot of franchises. So right now we're working with Rockefeller Capital Management, and we do all of their artwork. And we're also starting to incorporate more of their signage, their window film, distraction markings. So it's going in and representing somebody's brand. Perfect.
And, to wrap things up here, when, someone sees you in this role, you can be an inspiration because, it is a bit of a male-dominated industry at times. And, there's a lot of talented young women in the industry. Can you talk to them about, how do you represent yourself and how do you manage this big brand that has a lot of national respect? Are there certain times where you feel like you have to stick up for yourself a bit more than someone else would?
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough out there being a woman in print, a woman in the signage industry, a woman working in construction.
Yeah.
It's very male dominated, and you can get pushed around a little bit in that. And I've always just stood my ground on what I believed in terms of the quality and standard that I need in an environment in order to represent that. Going through the next revolution for wall murals or window film or signage, I need it ready to go and install to do the best work I can do. And so being able to work with other like-minded individuals who are on the same page as you, are there for the same goal. Working with electricians who will illuminate the sign, once we install it. All of that, we, work together as a collective group for the betterment of what we're doing. And I would say, being a woman in that male-dominated field it's always something that I saw my mom work through. And
great example to have.
Great example to have for me to kind of carry that, strength through. And always, stick up for what you believe in, and, the simple things of just doing your best every day and doing your best work. And that shines through all. And just that is, what you want to do moving forward.
Perfect. I know I said wrap it up, but one more question I thought of. So something I hear that a lot of sign shop owners struggle with is dealing with a client request and, having that feedback back and forth where you want them to understand, I'm fully supporting you. I want to make your idea come to life. But can you give any advice to someone who might not know how to push back or how to recommend, that might not be the best move, even though that's what you really want. I think I recommend this. How do you deal with clients when they have very high expectations?
Mm-hmm. So we deal with high expectations all day long.
Yeah.
That is something that has been so, we're so incredibly focused on the details of projects. We are a very creative company, being creative A, right?
Yeah.
We lead with creativity. And so we welcome those ideas, and no idea is too crazy. I mean, we've had people ask us to hang art from the ceiling, make it float. We don't want to see any glue. We want it to look invisible.
I'm sure you've heard everything.
We've heard everything. Yeah, like wall murals. Like we always say, no seam, is invisible. But we try to make it as invisible as possible. Yeah. So there's that quality of standard. And honestly, that's what helps keep the ideas moving. Like we want clients to come to us with crazy, unique ideas, and they say, okay, make it. How can we do it? Like we worked on a project that's featured for locked-in companies where we bent a piece of metal around a corner with arrows as directional wayfinding. Mm-hmm. And that took a lot of detail to figure out how we're going to mount it. So we had certain brackets, but the brackets needed to not be in the arrows because it needed to not be seen. It needed to look invisible. It needed to look seamless and integrated. And so that's, we're working through those details. And like I said, no client request is too crazy, or, we take on the challenge for everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much for the insight, Alisha. Yes. It's been really nice getting to meet you in person. And once again, if you visit signshop.com, there'll be a web article that accompanies the pre-existing magazine article. You can see her great work on the cover of Sign Builder Illustrated. And we really thank Alisha for putting in the time to visit us at ISA, do the interviews, and really support our brand. And we couldn't be more thankful for that. So thanks for watching, and continue to check out our coverage on signshop.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.